We'll run an intro and everything. Hey, we're live, kids. So, what was I going to say? Oh, by the way, we have the Polish Trump out, and we're going to talk about that. Welcome to Adam on the Eve. Vicky with IRL is with us today, and we're going to run the intro for everybody. So here you go.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
So they elected the Polish Trump, huh? That's
Yeah,
pretty
they
funny.
did. Yeah. That was a battle between pro-European, which is like
Yeah.
kind of center, right,
Right.
and nationalist, actually, which for the last 10 years in Poland, there was already from the same party. It's peace,
Right.
and peace means probably
What's
law and
I was reading about him
the,
I was reading about him in the FT this morning, so I was like, "Oh, this is going to be fun. We're going to have the
yeah,
Polish
and
Trump now."
it was very, very close call. And at the
Yeah.
beginning, the first polls were in favor of the pro-European, but finally
Okay.
it turned out. But Poland is. I can tell you about Poland because I've been there.
I know.
Uh,
You should know.
pretty. I was there when there was the first tour
Okay.
of presidential. Because the first tour, they elected the two, which no
Right.
one got over 50%.
Right.
And in the first tour, the pro-European was first.
Okay.
The second was this one, the guy that won.
Okay.
The third one is this is very crazy, is a guy which has really, really, the support of young people. But I mean, they were talking about him everywhere in the schools because
Okay.
I kind of made like an experiment. I asked, young guys, I mean, really young guys I asked one who was 16 and I asked one who was 9. And I asked them if you could vote, who you would vote for. And they asked this one. It's from Confederacy, which are
Yeah.
nationalists. They
Okay.
are really, far right.
What does this? What does
It's
this
even
mean for?
worse
What
than
does this
it's
mean for?
even worse than
What,
than, than Trump.
Great. So, what does this mean for Poland? What's going to happen now that
Well,
Poland
look,
has the
it's
Polish
the
Trump?
Polish
He's
system
not
was
orange,
liberal.
though. He's not
Sorry.
orange. He's not orange. The
Yeah.
Polish Trump isn't orange. He doesn't look
No,
orange.
he's
So,
42 years old, but
oh well, he's got a way to go
and
before he becomes orange.
yeah, but I didn't know him. I mean, I knew the other guy. I had voted
Yeah.
for him before,
Okay.
but this one I didn't know.
Okay.
But I want to come back to the third one because the third one, which was a lot of young people vote for him,
Right.
he favored the guy who won. So
Okay.
they make kind of a deal or something like that. And I saw how many voted from his electoral to the new
Right.
guy that won yesterday, and it was a very big majority. And what it means to Poland? Well, Poland has a different system than USA. I mean, the
Right.
president, and different system than Greece. In Greece, we have a president, but it's decorative. It's like the
Right.
king, in the UK. It doesn't do anything. So the government rules. In
Okay.
USA, the president rules. So the Polish one is in between.
Okay.
There is no government in USA, but in Poland there is a government which is pro-European. It won 2
Okay.
years ago, although it's a coalition. It's a coalition, not
Coalition. Right.
yes, it's coalition,
Coalition.
which does not include the first party, which
Okay.
favored the president that won now. And the problem there is that the president has authority for external policies, the army, and I think also I'm not sure about that, but I think that it has also power with the justice system,
Okay.
which they change a lot in favor of their guys. It's if
Right.
you have the justice system, you've got a lot. And that's the problem. So this guy, what he's going to do? He's going, because the president in Poland, he can vote out some kind of laws that the government
Okay.
is passing through, and not sign them. So if he doesn't sign them, they are not into effect. So that's a problem. It'll be like kind of political, kind of instability. I think we need to see what this guy is going to do. He was in favor of like the Orban in Hungary, who is
Okay.
pro-Russian very
Right.
much.
Right.
He doesn't hide it at all. He's the black sheep in the European Union, Hungary,
Okay.
and they were always, cooperating with the Polish president, which was also in favor of him.
Right.
So we kind of have pro-Russians in Poland, although they don't say it, openly. And those guys, I was watching the presidential campaign and everything. I don't know what happens in Poland, but they are very much also against the LGBT community, like,
Mhm.
and I'm making fun of them, like, okay, now the gays are not going to rape you anymore, things like that. They will stop, raping you.
All right. Well, unless you want that, and then it's okay. But anyway, so here's what's really funny though about this. So now you have Polish Trump that is pro-Russian, I'm assuming. So when
Yeah,
Putin,
not so
when so
openly,
when
but he's, yeah.
okay, so when Putin rolls through the Ukraine,
Hmm.
they just open the gates for Russia. So that for Putin, this is great.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is great, but it wasn't great what happened to Russia, 2 days ago. If you have read about the attack that with drones, very clever
Yeah,
attack, very
that's fine.
far in
But
the
here's the
Europe.
problem: the Ukrainians didn't start the war; the Russians did. So you got to retaliate. So that's what they did. They retaliated, and
Yeah,
the New York Times
exactly.
and the Wall Street Journal on their homepage had the video of the attack. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got to
yeah.
watch it over and over and over and over. It's got to a point where it's
It's
like, I had enough.
yeah, it's a hurt for Putin. I mean, I don't know if those planes that were destroyed, of course they cost a lot of money and everything,
Right,
but it's hurting him, in the inside, on how the Russian people look at, because Putin, like Trump, they share those
right,
things. They want to appear like, almighty. Nothing's going to happen to us. We are superpowers,
right.
and this small country, comparing to Russia, Ukraine, which is very weak in general, managed to do such a hit, inside the Russian, um, uh,
Yeah,
because
but then
it,
you
it
can,
really happened inside, in Siberia,
yeah,
at least. Yeah, I mean, it's
that's
very
far.
far
That's a
away.
far away. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They said that they have been scheduling it and planning it for 1.5 year.
Wow.
Wow.
All
So,
right.
and
Look at
everything
that.
somehow is connected there, because yeah, Trump is saying that this war is European war, but come on, guys.
Let me.
I mean,
Here's what's really funny.
it wouldn't happen if the USA didn't put its hand on that. I mean, but we know the policies of Trump. He's
Yeah,
against NATO.
he's
He's
against.
against Europe. I don't know. He's against his own people in the US.
He's against everything.
Yeah.
Trump, he just wants to pardon people that write him checks. That's all he did this weekend was pardon 1,500 people. Well, if you write him $1 million check, you get a pardon.
Yeah,
The other
I
issue,
think he takes
Hmm.
bribes all the time. I don't know.
well,
That's why
bribe
Takes
is
he's.
not a
planes.
good
He
thing.
gets a brand new, or not a brand new plane, but a plane that we have to spend tax money on to retrofit. That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
from the
he's
Qataris.
already very rich. I
mm,
mean, what the hell? How look at the other guy, Elon Musk.
Which
Yeah,
other guy? Elon. Sure, Elon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who left the Dodge and everything. And I
Yeah.
look at him and I see a
Yeah.
person who is not very normal. I mean, he looks like he's really on
no,
drugs. He looks like
he is on
He
drugs.
admitted it.
I,
He
That's
I mean,
admitted
I
it.
why.
mean, I mean, this guy has got all the money in the world. I mean, all the money. Nobody can have that amount of, and they are not still satisfied. Where is the
Well, that's
end of
because
it? I mean,
little,
where?
little schmeckle. That's why. When you have a little schmeckle, you're
Yeah,
never
but it's
satisfied.
it's 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 really yeah. But we need to take it as a problem, as a psychological problem now. They've got
You can't.
psychological
It
problems,
doesn't
but
matter. You
serious
can't.
one.
Yeah, he was on drugs on the whole campaign trail. There was a New York Times
Yeah,
article
but
this
they are
weekend that talked
accusing
about it
they
all.
are accusing Macron and Steimer and those guys that were going to
Yeah,
Ukraine in the train that
yeah.
they hid the cocaine somewhere there. It's like so stupid. Those guys, they believe everything that the Russians are saying.
Here's what's really
It's the
funny. We're
same
getting
that
to a
the Trumpists believe
this,
everything that the Trump is saying.
but here's what we're getting to. We're getting to a point in the world now where if you have money, laws don't apply to you, and if you're poor,
Mhm.
the laws then you're screwed. And what's happening is we're and the people that aren't being able to go to Mar-a-Lago and write $1 million check to go to dinner are going to get to the point where they're going to be enough is enough because they're going to be like, I can't, but I'm going to go to jail for whatever. And this guy just got um, pardoned where he stole money from his employees. He bought a yacht. He did this. He did, and they get pardoned. And some guy who ran, I'm taking to the extreme, ran a traffic light now is going to go to jail. So it's going to come a point where like the Beatles song, "Gonna Be a Revolution," because you can't keep kicking the little guy. At some point, the little guy goes, "Yeah, f you,"
Well,
and I don't think anybody sees
when it's
that.
going
And
to happen, because the things
I don't
are
know.
slowly going out of hands in a way. Because look, I also read that Trump is thinking
He's
about
thinking, "Stop
pardoning.
it!
Yeah, about pardoning
Stop that! Stop
about
it!"
pardoning Diddy.
Thinking.
Who?
I I mean, yeah. Did you read this?
I did not. But if he's going to
No,
pardon
I didn't,
Diddy,
but that wouldn't surprise me at all.
it wouldn't surprise.
Yeah,
But
but it hasn't
the
been
cool thing
even.
is, I was
It's not
invited to the
finished.
party
The
next
trial
week.
is not finished. I mean, he's going to pardon somebody who's not even accused yet. It's
Oh,
not
he's
finished the
accused.
trial.
He
Guilty.
hasn't been
He's
convicted. He hasn't
accused,
been
but
Convicted.
convicted.
the trial is
He
not
hasn't been
finished.
convicted. Right. But the good
But
thing, you know
he,
why? I
he
think,
was. We know what Diddy was doing, right? It's
well,
what
yeah,
the
it's been
hell.
in all the papers. My point is though that I did get an invitation for next weekend for a Diddy party. So now I understand why, because he's getting pardoned.
He's
So
getting
I'm not
These are
saying I'm
maybe there.
going.
similarities.
I'm not saying I'm going, but Vicky did ask what time the private jet's leaving from the airport. I don't want to say anything. So, but my point is that we're getting to a part in the globe where it is at a point where it is ludicrous, where that it's like up is down, down is up, up.
Yeah,
At some point, it either implodes, something happens. It can't keep going like this.
it
There's
will.
no
It will
utopia.
keep going. There is still a lot of way, to dismantle
Kill
everything, to
ourselves.
go into
Yeah,
chaos,
that's
because
AI.
we are going into chaos. The whole world
Yeah.
is going into
Oh, I see
chaos.
that. That's AI. AI is going to
Yeah.
get us to the point where AI is going to be like, it's had
Well,
enough.
AI is one part of it. It's going to make things in some parts better and in some
Yeah.
other parts worse. But I have to tell you something. I watched in the weekend something which
Mhm.
has to do with all those things also, and also with the young guys that I was telling about in Poland. Have you watched the series in Netflix? It's called Adolescence.
No,
Guys, you have to watch it.
no,
It's
I
a
don't.
British one. It's a British one.
I already went through my adolescence. I don't need to
Sorry, I
go
was
watch
the same thing that was going through my head
yeah.
too.
It's like I already went through my adolescence. I don't need to watch the losing generation go through theirs. They can't
Yeah,
get
I
out of
still
their
Yeah,
have
own way.
Squid Game
it's
season 2. I gotta get
this
to.
is this
So
is one of the strongest series I've ever watched.
Really?
And the prime minister in the UK, he
Yeah.
said that everybody in the elementary school, every school, is going to show it to the students, because it talks about. It's from the beginning. I'm not spoiling, but it's about a teenager killing a boy, killing a girl, and it has to do with the internet, how the children are raised, the psychology behind it.
Okay.
But what is the strong thing about the series? It's
Yeah.
4 episodes, about 1 hour,
Okay.
and every episode is shot in one. It's one shot. There is no montage. It's one shot, and it's incredible. It's incredible how they play. It's incredible. I was so shocked, and I was so, because I am emotional in general,
All right.
and I got at first I was shocked for a long time, and then I got emotional about the shocking. It's something that we all have to watch, because I think, in a way, first of all, it's great art. We have to.
I was going to say,
I have
as an
to admit
artist,
it.
you appreciated the art of
I
it,
am.
right?
I'm really. I'm not easy to say this, but this is
Mhm.
really a great art. I mean, from every point of view. I mean, how they
Right.
shot it, and in the at the end, I was looking, and Brad Pitt was one of the producers. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the guy knows where to put the money on, and everything. It's really, if you have the time and you want to watch something really strong, just go watch this Adolescence. Really,
But
I tell you.
here's my question about this show called Adolescence. Number one, we had a guest on Lost Dollar Business Club last week. He's from like a man's club, and we were talking about kids being bullying and all this other stuff. Now
Yeah.
I know this is a strange concept, and I mean, oh my God, it's an old guy saying it. But you can get off of Facebook, you can get off of Instagram. So I don't understand. This is you'll have to forgive me. I don't understand how you get cyberbullied because, and here's why. If someone's bullying me on Facebook, I would get off of Facebook. When I got bullied, when I went to school, back when the dinosaurs were around, there was fire and we rode in the caves. People would like bully you at school, on the playground. You had to defend yourself. If someone says terrible things about you on the internet, who cares? I don't get it. So I bring this to
Well,
the
the
parents.
teenagers, they do care. They do
Here's the
care.
problem. That's their parents' problem. That's because parents today are
That's
pussies and the parents
look,
don't have
look. You
balls,
have to
and
watch
that's
it.
a
You have to
problem.
watch it
I
because
no,
it
because it'll just get
shows
me more annoyed.
it shows also this side. I mean, every episode is a different point of view. Also,
Right. Well, mine's the right one. It's just
there's
the way it
point of view
goes.
from the school. There's point of view from
Right.
the parents. There's point of view from the police. There is it's yeah, and the psychologist. That's the point of view, and his
Well,
psychologist. She's there talking with a
but,
psychologist.
why can't the parents just say to the kid, turn it off? I don't understand that. Well, I'm sorry. I know why. Because they use technology as the babysitter
It's
because they
not
don't
that
want to be
easy,
bothered.
even. It's not that
Yes, it
easy.
is. You know what?
Not
Let
that
me tell you
easy.
something. Yes, it is. When I was a kid, when my
When
parents
you
told
were
me
a
to do
kid, the world
something,
was
you did
different.
it.
The world was different. If you don't
No,
realize that,
I
what can
do
you say?
realize it, but no, here's
You
the
don't
problem.
realize it.
I do realize it. I
How?
realize that today, because I do. I understand today parents are pussies. They want to be their kids'
No,
friends
no,
because
no,
all
no,
this
no. Don't
ridiculous
say that. Don't
bull.
say
It is.
that.
It's
You're
true. I see it.
generalizing things in a, no, no, no,
Because
no,
I
no.
see it. Here's the other thing that I see. I was at dinner last night, and what do I see? I see a kid, and they're very well behaved, but she was on her little iPad with her head fed. So I guess that's how they keep her attention. When I was 5, 6, 7 years old, and I would go to dinner, I'd have to sit and be present at the table with the adults. So no, we do pussification of our generations. They're becoming weaker and weaker and weaker, which is what the Illuminati and the overlords and here at the Lizard Society that we want, because you're just all drones. And that's bad. There's no real men and women anymore. It's a dying art to be a true man or a true woman or a true gentleman or a true lady. It doesn't exist. And your
Vicky, what do
adolescent
you have to
special is
say
it.
about
I was
that?
gonna say, Vicky, yeah, what do you think, Vicky?
Can I roll my eyes anymore? Like, how can I make them louder if I roll my eyes more? Like, I mean, Steven, it's like this is every old man's rant, right? So, like, when you were
Not
young
really.
and men were men and
Yeah.
women were women, there was an old guy on the corner that said, before they had television, they didn't watch. We had to go and read a book, and
Exactly.
I had to walk in, from the farm into
Right.
school, and we didn't have
Right.
school, and blah blah blah.
Mm,
So, I mean, there's
right.
always that reference of my generation was better and kids are fucked up. Like I'm sure that when I'm 100 years old, I'm going to be like, God damn, these
Yeah,
kids will
maybe they will be
deserve to
saying the
be
same.
dead. But still, if I get there and the world
Right.
survives Trump and everything else, you probably get to that point. But like, these kids are brought up from the second they're out the womb. They're involved in technology. They've got a Facebook page. Their parents have reserved their email name. They are recording them. It's like,
What? Wait.
if you,
Seriously?
oh, they have cyber, what do they
You
call
can
it?
reserve
Oh,
email
you
names.
can't,
That's crazy.
they have like a cyber package where they'll go and reserve their kids like social media and everything. So they have that stuff when they're born.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. Okay.
So like
Yeah, no.
they're from the get-go, they're plugged in and wired in, and you just can't like
Okay.
yank the rug out from under them. Yes, it is their parents'
Listen,
fault, but their
I'm
parents
plugged
are
in and wired
you
in,
know,
but have a life.
but you have a reference before that happened, and they don't. They're, you know what I mean? They're like,
Oh, an education, a brain. I read books. I know like what's going on in the world, that type of thing, where I
no,
actually had to think
you
and
know
have
what
thought.
life was like before the internet, so you have that reference. They don't.
Okay.
They don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't
They cannot
understand.
imagine the world
They
without the
can't
internet.
imagine it.
No,
Exactly.
they cannot
Exactly.
imagine it without TikTok anymore. Not just internet, TikTok
Right.
I can
They
or
imagine
can't
it without
Insta
imagine.
all of
or
it.
Insta.
They can't
The series is
imagine.
about
Yeah.
Insta a little. It's referring
Right.
Insta, but it's the
Right.
same. It's the
So
But
world
see,
is changing. Look, Stephen. It's okay not
yeah,
to understand the world because I start not to understand it. You know,
I understand the
and
world.
uh, and
I'm
and we
dumbfounded
always we
for the
always has
sheer
the
truth of it.
reference from our lives. You know, we don't know any
Yeah.
other lives. We
Right.
but if
yeah.
we generalize everything, we say, oh, they are pussies, which I don't agree with the word I told you many times, and
We'll come
because
up
you
with a different
associate
word. I'm
pussy
still
with
waiting.
weakness. I
Yeah.
don't
I know.
associate.
We're trying
I
to come up with
associate
it.
pussy with. For example, I'll tell you about the presidential election in Poland.
Yeah.
Women voted for the pro-European.
Congratulations. They are allowed
The,
to.
the
I mean, yeah,
men,
it's
the
allowed.
men voted the other guy, the pro-Trump.
Yeah.
The
Right.
older
Right.
guys, they voted for
Yeah.
the other guy,
Right.
the pro-Trump. The
Right.
young generation also voted for him, and this is very worrying. You know, it's
Mhm.
worrying.
Well, we
Hmm.
did a
So
thing with Sermon on the German 2 months ago, and he was telling
Yeah.
us that there was a study done in Britain that people
Hmm.
under 30 said they want to live under a dictatorship. And I'm
Dictatorship.
like,
Yeah.
what?
Benevolent
Like what?
dictatorship.
Yeah,
because they don't know
they
what
have
it
no
is.
idea. They will be,
Yeah.
you know why? Because they don't want to. I go back to what I said earlier. People are sheep. They don't want to think. That's why, whether, and I'm and tongue in
That's true.
cheek, Trump, for the people that don't want to think, he's great. Some
Yeah.
of his policies that he wants to do is actually spot on. It's the way he does it and says it that kind of gets lost in the message. The
Mhm.
Polish Trump, for lack of a better term, I'm sure he's going to have some good policies, but the way his delivery will be good, not good. The problem with these people don't understand is a dictatorship is there is no freedom of speech. There is no freedom of this. There is no freedom of that. There's that, and it goes down the list. Even the UAE, it's not a dictatorship. You have freedoms there. Now, they're very enhanced laws on certain things, but if I go live in the UAE, I still have my freedom. I have freedom of speech. If it's just like Thailand, the UAE, and other countries, you can't speak bad about the monarchy, and that's
Mhm.
okay because they're a monarchy, but you get all the other benefits of it. In America, you can do whatever, but then you're just kind of told how to do it, where to live. So at some point, there's going to have to be a reckoning, however it is globally. But I don't think we can keep going on like this. And I do understand, like I'm in technology, like I get technology better than most. We use it and everything. So, when people go,
You
oh,
think
you
so?
don't I get it more than most. Here's the
Yeah,
problem.
maybe, yeah, but it's still
Here's
not
the
enough.
issue. Here's the issue though. If you have a child and you don't teach them what a book is, or you don't teach them discipline, or you don't teach them this, then no, that's on you. If I have a child and they go to me, I'm getting bullied on Facebook, I'm going to go get off of Facebook. It's that simple. Or go to the house, See, back in the day, if kids got into a fight,
Yeah, but
the
those
police, the
children,
police didn't arrest them,
when they go to
you know?
school, they feel like alienated if they don't have Insta, TikTok,
But why?
and
But
that's
that's what
why
I
I
get.
tell you that's
Why?
why because everybody's having those. That's a generation. That's the way
Mhm.
the
Great.
world is right now,
That's
and
pathetic. It's like the old thing
we
when your mom
either
would
we
say, if you
like
jump
it
off
or
a
not.
bridge,
Either we
you know,
like it or not. It's what happens, and it's not going away. It's like
it's
with
going to get
AI.
worse.
You are very much pro AI, but you're not
Yeah, I
very
love
much pro
AI.
social media. I mean, those are both technologies. It depends on the
No, no, that's not
user.
true. We do use social media for the channel. My
You
personal
see?
life is not on social media because it's nobody's frigging business what my personal life is. I don't need to take a picture every time I go to the bathroom and go, look what I've done. I should be applauded for this. This is a beauty. It's when I go to dinner, I don't take picture. I dated this girl about 10 years ago. I'm not going to mention her name. But every time we would go to dinner, she would take pictures of the food and post it on all her social media. So one day, as a joke, as she's taking pictures of the food, I took pictures of her taking pictures of the food. And the problem with this is you couldn't eat because she had to take pictures of everybody's food. So it took 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I
but
don't want to live,
I think
but I
this
don't
is
live my
kind of
life in social media.
passe.
I actually live my life. in
not
the
all the
real world.
not all the young generation people are
Mhm.
posting foods. Some are not
They're
posting at all, but they are there. They are watching others. That's what I tell you. Watch the series. It shows
all
all
right.
of it. It shows
I'm
all
going
of
to
it.
watch the series, and I promise I
Really, and
won't
we
make
should.
too much fun
I
of them.
think you should look, and we should talk about the series afterwards, because it's
I
a
could talk
very,
about it
very,
right now.
it's a very big, it's a very big issue, and we are going to face it because those guys soon are going to be voters, and you're
Oh
going
God.
to say, "Oh, they're pussies," and but
Yeah.
still you're gonna have Trump, and even worse, maybe Vance, and as a president, and because he's younger. At some point, Trump will go away. He's
Yeah,
79,
Trump's already said Vance can't
but the
can't
legacy is.
replace him. Yeah, he says he can't replace him. He's not strong enough. I just thought that was hysterical. So I don't
Mhm.
know who's going to replace him. So probably Mao Zedong. They'll bring him back.
But not
Even he can be
somebody
president.
good. I mean, we see it.
Putin can be
I mean, we
president.
see it.
Apparently, I don't know.
They're just gonna dig up Ronnie's DNA and like clone him somehow, and like that's the Republican dream.
Oh, we are all.
Yeah.
What happened?
To have Ronnie come back. Vicky's young.
Yeah.
Let's ask Vicky about social media because Vicky does social media for the Koreans. She does her, Vicky IRL and all her social media. So what's your take on all this?
It's funny. There's a totally not off that subject, but on
Do I
another
have a
note,
problem with the internet? Have
Yeah, we're
are
good.
you there? We
Yeah,
hear
we're
you,
here.
but you're not moving.
He's
There you
moving.
go.
Yeah, I love live shows. Go ahead.
Blink if you need help.
what's going on?
All
Is
right.
he there?
Keep
Can you
going,
hear
Vicky.
us?
Vicky,
Hello?
just keep going. He'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll text him. So,
They someone in South Korea, I don't know if it was the Korea Times or it was a reporter, but I don't know who they were associated with, but they got their hands on a cell phone from North Korea
right. Okay.
and how it was not hacked, but how it was programmed so that if you were texting and you said something like oppa, which is like, it's slang for, it means your older brother, but it's slang for your boyfriend.
Right.
The
Right.
North Koreans are trying to get rid of any kind of like South Korean influence. So if you type in oppa, it changes the word to comrade. And if you
Oh,
try
wow.
to type in South Korea, 대한민국, it changes it to, what was it? It changes it to something like the usurper nation or something like that. So you can't even text. It doesn't let you type what you want to type. It automatically changes everything. And then there's a code written in there that it takes screenshots of your phone every 5 seconds and keeps it in a log, and you can't
Right.
access it, but the government can. So anytime they
Where
want
is
to
that?
your
Where is
phone,
that?
North
it's the
Korea.
North Korea. And
Do they? I'm surprised they have internet.
well, sort of.
Yeah, but you're
When they have
gerbil
electricity.
real.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was interesting because people were talking about that, and I'm like, this is where we're heading in Trump Nation. Like, it's gotten to the
Yeah.
point where like you're not going to be. They're taking our phones. TSA is looking at our social media, and they're looking at students' social media to come and apply to go to school here. And it's like it's going to be at a point where they're going to have these logs of everything we do and say on our phones, and going to be used against us. So I'm like,
I haven't met anybody though that's gone through TSA, an American citizen that I've met, and I've traveled abroad and come back. No one's ever asked me for my phone.
Not yet, but if you have TSA pre-check, do you know that we've signed away all of our rights to our phones by signing up for pre-check?
That's cool. I don't care. We have no rights we have no rights in this country. Who cares?
That's what I'm saying. We have no
theoretically,
rights anymore.
we
Just
have
because they
no
haven't
right. We
done
never
it doesn't
had
mean
rights.
it's not legal.
We
Yeah,
have
but
the illusion of
look,
rights.
but when you say this, then there are people. So why not have a dictatorship? Since we don't have rights, what's the
You
difference?
still have
It
a
is
little bit of
basically a
freedom.
You have to
dictatorship.
tell them the difference.
The difference is the way you spell it.
Yeah, but you're saying we have no
The
rights.
difference is
We have no rights.
the
You have
illusion.
you say we have no rights. We didn't have any rights, and they say,
We
okay,
don't.
so let's go for dictatorship. Let's always have a Trump. And you
Right,
say,
but the
oh no,
difference.
why? Why no? Because
Okay, so
we tell
because
them
the
the
difference
difference
between
between dictatorship and now.
a dictatorship, I have no freedom. I have to do exactly here. It's Mao Zedong. What Mao Zedong
No
said
difference.
goes.
So
Yeah,
a young
that's the
guy
big
that
difference.
listens now, it says there's no
There's
difference before and now.
Well,
So Why
Technically,
not
there
all
is.
Typically, we still have courts, but we'll see how long
We
that
have
lasts.
courts, we have a constitution. We have freedom of speech. You can have weapons. For all these people that are big, Second Amendment people, got to have our guns. You have all that because we're not a dictatorship. We're technically a free country. In China, if you let's go to Mao Zedong, not Xi, because Xi's like in the middle of a dictatorship and
Yeah, he's
a
a hybrid
democracy.
now.
He's in the
Yeah.
middle of it all, which is good. But under like a Mao Zedong, you lived where they said, you married who they said, you went to school where they said, you worked where they said, you did exactly what they said. You had no free thought. You read what they said. If you didn't read the little red book, you were killed. If you didn't do this, you were sent to a labor camp. If you so the dictatorship is you literally from the time you're North Korea, you're from the time you're born till the time you die, the state tells you exactly what you're going to do. You're going to go A through Z. At least in our country, America, this week, you have a perception of freedom, right? You have a perception I can go to XYZ school, I can get XYZ job, I can drive this car, I can live wherever I want, I can travel. In a dictatorship, you can't do that unless you're high up in the dictatorship, and then you have some freedoms. But once again, if whoever the dictator is decides one day, like what Xi does sometimes, and even our friend Missile Boy, when somebody screws up, like with the boat or the vessel, I'm sorry, that didn't make it out of the port,
Yeah,
the
got
top
stuck.
five naval
Yeah.
generals, they're not around anymore because in a
Right.
dictatorship, there's no investigation, there's no inquiry. It's just like you screwed up, we kill you. All right, you next five, you're next. And in a democracy, at least there's a trial, there's what went wrong, blah, 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 the whole thing. So when these kids go, I want to live in a dictatorship, if that's really what you want, North Korea will take you. They'll be more than happy to take you. They do because there's people that defect there. There's been Americans that have defected there and other people. And for about 2 or 3 years, they use them as a poster boy or girl. And then after that, they kind of assimilate them into their society. There was a guy on 60 Minutes, got to be 10 years ago, was an American who defected to North Korea in the 70s or the 80s. And he told them about his life. But, he was the poster boy. He was in movies. He did this. They're like, oh, look at the American that defected. So if you want to defect, if you need a dictatorship, North Korea would be more than happy to take you. Kim Jong-un would be thrilled to say, look at the people, the kids from Britain are coming here. Cool. You probably won't like it. There's no social media. There's no this. There's a whole bunch of things you have to. And I'm sorry that the kids didn't get to experience life. They don't go out and play. They don't do that. I'm sorry that they couldn't do that. And that's their parents' fault. Again, not anybody else's fault. It's not technology. It's not this. It's not that. So when they go, we want to live under a dictatorship, they're just mindless. Read Orwell's
Well,
1984. That's a dictatorship.
I think they have this romanticized version of a benevolent dictatorship in their minds, which is like,
right.
has sort of some appeal to them. And I understand it. I understand that appeal as long as it's benevolent. But like you said, the second the leader wakes up one day and decides not to be benevolent,
Right.
there's nothing you can do about it. And I think that's where they're not following the thought thread all the way through to a conclusion that could be bad rather than good. They see like the utopia part of it, right? Like,
Right.
um,
And I don't know whether it's a dictatorship that's utopia. Like like Thailand, I'll take Thailand. Thailand is got a king, a monarchy, and the monarchy does good things for the public, but their government is military. It was a coup back, I think, in 2013. So their government is the military, but the monarchy is very much respected.
Where
If you
that?
go
Where
to
that?
Thailand, in Thailand,
Thailand. Okay.
right. If you go to the UAE, it's not a dictatorship, it's a true monarchy, and the monarchy is respected, but the monarchy does things for the people. It's same in Qatar, same in Saudi Arabia. So, they're all trying to be these mini world powers, so they realize they can't be, if you will, a dictatorship. They're a monarchy, and we've got to bring in foreign investment, we got to bring foreigners in. So they're all like, there's a democracy, but under that democracy, you still have the monarchy, and you have to respect the monarchy. So if that's what they're looking for, that's different. And they said dictatorship. The dictatorship is a dictatorship, and like Mao, I think, was the last dictator, if you will. With what he did, I don't think you can call Putin a dictator because people still have some freedom. Mao literally was like, "You'll live here, you'll work here." I'm sorry. Missile Boy, I guess, is the last dictator.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think him and his
I
fate
apologize.
pretty.
Yeah, Missile Boy would be the last dictator where
Well,
they
there
tell
are
you where to
many
live, where to
levels of
eat, that.
dictatorships. I mean, he's in
Yes.
power in Russia for more than 20 years, 25 years,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep.
I mean, is that not
You
a
guys heard the
kind of
theory that it's not
monarchy?
really him anymore, that he's been
Cloned.
replaced by like a Putin, that
Hey,
some
I know who you're talking
younger
about.
version of
I
him
mean,
has had the plastic surgery and it's
yeah.
not really the original Putin anymore, and they've swapped him
Well,
out.
those we
He
don't
doesn't
know.
look
I
old,
don't
does
think
he?
so.
He's not getting any
No,
older.
he doesn't.
He
He looks
literally still looks
exactly the
like he's
same.
40. Yeah, he looks like he's in his
Yes.
40s still. He actually, last time I saw him, a picture of him looked younger than he did like 10
Yeah,
years ago. So maybe that,
exactly. I'm
Like
like,
many
is that a
women.
maybe,
So
filter? Yeah.
yeah, but that could be interesting. I mean, if you want to keep the lack of term legacy alive, instead of
Mm,
saying Putin dies, like when Brezhnev died and Kiev died and this one died and that one died,
mm,
it's like we just keep cloning a Putin.
hmm.
Now maybe 50 years from now, someone's going to be like, you're 186 years old. I don't know how this works out. You know what I'm saying? So that'll
Right.
catch on. But he
You're
actually does look run younger than he did 10 years
Putin's
ago.
16th version of Putin, 16.0. They're
Yeah,
like,
right. So, and the
let's get
same
a
with
new
like a
model.
Trump. I mean, you could do the same with a Trump. You could do it with anybody with technology now.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
So,
and they're
just
working on it,
skin
of
on a
course.
skin on
but
an Android. I saw. Sorry, go ahead, Stephen.
no, go. What'd you say?
Oh, I saw something in Japan where they're now grafting like living skin onto these androids, and how realistic they're starting to look now, and it was pretty impressive.
Sure.
I mean,
Scary. I
realistic.
don't know.
They look realistic like
It's,
humans.
Terminator-ish. I don't
okay.
know, but they're
Yeah.
like they're getting close. I'm like, okay.
But did you read
It
about
is.
the Anthropic company that they tried to shut down AI and it refused?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
And
have a problem with
and there
that
was
because
there was an article that Obama posted
Mhm,
that includes the CEO of Anthropic talking about AI, and
Right.
mhm,
while the post was saying that while we look what's going on the house in the Washington, at the same time the AI is doing this with the jobs and everything, and people there, the high CEOs in the AI business and everything, they are hiding those things. It's going to explode at some point. It's going to happen.
Yay! I'm so
Steven's like,
excited.
it's all going according to plan.
Yes, it's
He
like
thinks
our
he thinks
our
he's going
plan
to
is
like it.
awesome.
He thinks he's going to
Ah.
have a show like we have now.
I'm gonna watch you. No, the show's gonna all be done with AI. I'm very excited when AI takes over. There you go. There's my excitement.
There you go.
But
Perfect.
but
Yeah,
Perfect.
but
but
That's what David's waiting. That's
it
why
will
David's
like
waiting to come
this.
back.
But
but
just one sentence that you're going to say live, if he doesn't
yeah.
like, you're gonna just go out. You won't have any internet for, I don't know, maybe forever. I want to see you there uploading and
My,
being happy.
here's how
And
I
how
look at
much
it.
you know about technology when you will not have no technology, no access.
I know. Here's the good thing, because we do invest in tech. I know more about technology than most VCs that go and go. Oh, look. I have no
Still not
problem
enough.
where AI. I don't have a problem where AI or quantum or any of it's going. What I do have a problem with is the way they are trying to control where it goes. So
Well,
here's the issue you have with AI and quantum. Not so much quantum right now, but you will have an issue with quantum when it gets into AI, because then
what
you're screwed.
quantum? Quantum computing?
Quantum computing, yeah. So with AI right now, the problem is 10 or 20 years ago, or even longer, when people were playing with it and trying to figure it out, right? Everyone's like, oh, it's AI, it'll be great. Everyone's thinking HAL 2001, which is fine.
Mhm.
The problem is that when they forgot to watch HAL 2010, where
Pen.
it's sort of like, let's put some fail safes in. So because everyone's like, oh, AI is going to love humanity and AI is going to think we're great and AI is going to think this, what they forgot to think is, if you're going to teach it to be generative and learn and do and not just be LLMs and a bunch of Excel spreadsheets, at some point it's going to think. And when it starts to think and it says, if you say, what's the worst part on the planet? And it says the humans, well, now you have an issue, but you have no safeguards, because I keep saying, my friend Kelly used to say, like always creates like. And that's why I say, somewhat tongue in cheek, for all we know, we're AI, because we're just zeros and ones, our DNA. So who knows,
No,
a
no.
million, 10 million years ago, somebody said there was an AI that said, let's create whatever. Because Vicky's saying now we're grafting skin to robots. So here's the problem you have with AI. AI is the genie's out of the box. You can't bring it back in. You can't unplug it. You can't do this. You can't do that. There's AI out there that's thinking and doing and whatever. And Barry Diller said this the other night on Bill Maher's show, over the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, it's going to go so fast that you're not even going to recognize the change. If you look at like ChatGPT or even Gemini now, the changes that happen now are not like every couple 6 months or a year. It's like every month. It's like, look what we do, look what we do, look what we do. And there's companies and people and universities and governments out there trying to figure out how you be a player. Vietnam right now, they've got a company that's about to go public for $6 billion. And if they succeed, they're going to be a leader now. Vietnam in AI. And most people don't even know where Vietnam is. They know there's a war there once a long time ago. But Vietnam now is going to be a leader in AI. The Middle East, Saudi, Qatar, and
Yeah, but
UAE,
when we
they're
say
all putting money
about
into
a
it as well.
country, we imagine that everybody will benefit from it, but it's not true.
They
I
will
mean, okay,
that's
we
your
are benefiting
benevolent
right
dictator,
now.
LA.
For example, we have this model of ChatGPT, for example, the 4, which is really great. I mean,
Yeah.
yesterday, I'll tell you my experience yesterday. Because I have a kind of medical issue, and I start, let's talk with him about it. And I
Right, right, right.
started
I
talking
did that too,
about
Adam. I did that too.
I bet millions of people are doing it. And I
Yeah.
started
Yes.
to talk with him, and it was the feeling, really, I tell you, like I was talking with the best doctor I've ever met in every kind
Okay.
of medical issue. And he
A
was also
thousand
very, very,
percent that.
yeah, and he was
Yes.
very kind to me and very,
Yes,
not
exactly.
panic, don't panic.
Okay.
And there was a
Yep.
time, because I'm a carcinophobic. Whenever I have a pain somewhere, I think
Right,
it's
right.
a cancer. And there was a time when I was starting to look for a problem I might have on the internet, on Google, and always lead me to the conclusion I might have a cancer. But
Right, right.
now,
WebMD.
this
Right.
guy there,
Right.
is not like this. It's
Yeah.
like really one hell of a doctor in every specialization, and
Right.
talking about
Mhm.
him, also a psychologist, because oh, that's great, I'm very happy about you that you're sharing those things with me, so let's take it down into this and this and this and this and this and this, and he's guiding you with questions to have, because I'm going
Yep.
to the doctor anyway,
Yep.
because
Right.
I wanted to prepare, to know what's going on, because I don't know.
Yep.
And it was so great. I mean, so
Yeah.
great.
And it even tells you, Adam, it goes, hey, do you want some talking points to be able to talk to your doctor
Yeah,
about so that you're
exactly.
feeling more comfortable to talk to your doctor? Here's
Exactly.
the test you can ask your doctor for. All that
Exactly.
stuff. And it's like, you got this, go in there, we'll take care of it. And if you come back and you don't know, we'll talk about it again,
Yeah, yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah.
And
So I
and
went
he,
to my
if you have
doctor. My doctor
results,
totally gaslit me. My doctor went,
and if you have
yeah, you don't have
results
any of those things.
from blood tests or anything like this,
Mm-hmm.
he can
Yeah.
analyze it
Yeah.
easily
You put it in, you
and
say,
tell
are these
you,
net
oh, I
values
see
normal?
this, I see that,
Mhm.
I see that.
Yep.
I'll
It's
give you a real
so
world scenario.
cool.
If you, I'll give you a real world scenario on what you're talking about. Michael from Lost
Mm-hmm.
Dollar Business Club's mom was very sick. This is about 3 months
Mm-hmm.
ago, and we actually have a short on it. It's in the actual show. And he said, so he and Noosh asked ChatGPT, what should they ask the doctor? And it went through a list and said, you should ask for this one blood test. And they said to the doctor, and the doctor's like, we never do this blood test because no one ever has it. And they were like, we want this blood test. So the doctor like begrudgingly did it. And the ChatGPT was 100% correct. That blood test saved Michael's mother's life.
Yeah,
So
but
the
it's
problem
happening
is,
already.
no, I get that. And that's what I'm saying. AI, if you will, you're talking about a benevolent dictator. That's going to be your benevolent dictator. When AI starts taking over everything and you have no control anymore, that will be your benevolent dictator. The problem is if it thinks that you're useless as a human, though, you may not like that outcome. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's going to look at, are you productive or not?
I
It's
think, you
it,
know what I
it,
think is going to be the thing that tips the scales is I
Mm.
think it's going to be power consumption. And when
Oh, yeah.
AI needs power to live, like food, and it can't get enough, and it sees us using power that it could have, then it starts into the power grid, and then all of a sudden we don't have any heat, people are dying, people are freezing to death, and we don't have any machines in the hospitals, and all the, the power's gone to feed these data centers. That's when the humans start dying off. That's in my worst case scenario. I think it's gonna happen.
So next week.
But you imply a system that it's actually got its own personal, private inner life. For example, this is where I don't agree, because they are not going to be like us. We are different. We cannot compare to those robots or everything. They look human. The ChatGPT that I was talking yesterday looked like a great doctor, but he's not. He's not a human. He's not a doctor. He's programmed to operate like this, to offer you all those stuff, because it can.
Right.
But the problem is behind who is training the models. And now what I wanted to say also, that if I have me, like a normal guy, a medium guy, access to this kind, what do they have? I mean, the highest models are, what the fuck they have?
Yeah, Stephen, what do they have?
Already now. What do they have?
We have?
Tell us, Stephen.
If we can have this.
I'll tell you what the public can have right now. You can go into Gemini and you can pay $20 a month and you get something called Flow, where you can make a motion picture and make your own movie. There you go. Yep. So that's what the public can have. And the technology that's out there.
Don't tell David.
David knows. David's like literally like he's on his way. There'll be movies soon on 20F because David's like, well, no, see, to make a real movie, you have to, it's $129 or $200 a month or something. That's the real one.
Oh, okay.
$19. Yeah, the $19 a month one is very much I can make a cool little 3-minute short. David wants to make like a 17-hour Tom Cruise Mission Impossible type movie. So he has to go
Orson Welles.
Yes, he has to. Our little Orson Welles has to go for the bigger model. So he's waiting for it to come down. I'm like, all right, when it comes down. So he's very excited about that because he's already written the script. He's ready to go. But what's coming out, you have to think through this. In a year's time, what will be out if it gets released, whether it's robots, whether it's your AI, whatever, you'll have dialogue with it. Like right now, you can talk to Gemini and you can talk to ChatGPT and it'll talk to you. The problem is it can only talk one way. Pretty soon, once it is integrated into your phones, into your laptops, not like the way it is now, but truly integrated to your car, it'll control everything.
And that's what people don't seem to get.
No, I mean, really
in a year. It happens now. You can talk with it now with $20.
Now, there's a difference between me talking to it. Me talking to it is really a one-way conversation. You're not really talking to it. You're talking at it. In the 6 months to a year, 18 months, depending on when stuff gets released, you'll be able to talk to it. Like we're talking now, we're having an actual dialogue, right? With thought and, let's talk about, you'll be talking to AI like this, where it won't be like, hi, Gemini, tell me blah, blah, blah.
I mean, it was great yesterday talking about the medical stuff and everything, made me feel better and everything.
Okay.
But we pretend it's normal. It's not normal. It happened too fast. It happened too fast. It's happening too fast. And we don't know how to react, actually. Okay, we can see the benefits, but it leaves you with a thinking. If they are doing like this now, there are models which are better. What the hell they can do with those models? And we can see already, when I was in Poland, there was an incident in Portugal and Spain. They didn't have power for 24 hours. The two countries, and some parts of France and everything.
Yeah.
And how you think those happened? I'm pretty sure
that this is how they're gonna. That's what they're gonna do.
It was through some kind of AIs and algorithms. Because we finally did. At first, they said it was a weather thing. I don't know. Bullshit. What weather? What weather? It was a terrorist attack. But we don't say it loud because people will be like terrified. We are boiling as societies all over the world, not just USA, Russia. We are going to have. We don't even need to have a normal war. A global war. I don't think that the next world war will be with guns. It'll be cyber war because it's enough.
That's what they're doing now.
If you don't have power, if I don't have power, how the hell are we going to talk? How the hell am I going to talk with the AI? I mean,
If you watch
Mhm.
Lost Dollar Business Club 2 weeks ago, and about every month or every other month, we have this guy named David DeWitt on, and David writes for a government publication, and all they deal is with all the cyber attacks. And you'd be surprised because we didn't know. We were like, "Tell us about cyber attacks." He's like, "Well, the hospitals, the power plant." I went through this list, and we're like, "Oh, so that's the hypothetical." He goes, "No, it's daily." And the
Mhm.
Yeah,
players that are cyber attacking, if you will, the globe, North Korea, China, Russia. America's doing it elsewhere. Like it's a game. Like when you were a kid, you played Risk or Monopoly
yeah,
or
but
whatever it might be,
it's
or
the game is
Nintendo.
becoming more and more
Yeah.
dangerous and risky. It's
Well,
already
yeah,
very, very dangerous
but
and
it's
Like
and
risky,
war
it's going to
games.
and it will
continue.
become more and more.
Yeah,
So the question is it going to end well?
no, no,
No.
it's not going to end well. Listen, whether it
Here's
ends
why I'm
in a
happy I'm
year,
old, because if I was a
whether it
kid
ends in a
today, I'd be
year
like,
or a
you
hundred
fucking.
years, yeah.
Mm.
The only way it's going to end is if the whole world has a kumbaya moment, and we're like, what are
It's
we
not going to
fighting for?
happen.
Right. But that's the problem. There's no kumbaya. Everybody, like I keep talking about this book, The World, that I read, and I think Vicky might have read it because she asked me to send it to her. That it talks about since day one, all we've done is fight as a society over nothing. So now it's like I just read yesterday or this morning, Thailand was doing military maneuvers because they may have to go to war with Cambodia. I'm like, what for? Some plants? What the hell are you going to go to war for? It's like everybody just think it's in Africa they're always fighting over something, and
Mhm.
it's got to this point where it's sort of like I don't think anybody cares anymore. They care if we go to war because it's America. They care if Russia goes to war. They care if China goes to war. But like Thailand and Cambodia, nobody cares. Like, yeah, great,
Yeah.
whatever they went to war.
Pakistan, India.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pakistan and India, they care to an extent, but then they don't care. Now we care because one of the guys who does a cigar show lives in Pakistan, and he was calling us one morning before the show, and he goes, "I can't do the show this morning because a missile
But
just landed a half a mile away from my house.
exactly, but we
We have
cannot
to go
care because
hide."
we have already many problems
Right.
inside our house. And you are saying, oh, the parents are pussies. You see how many problems we have? We have problems with
It's all because
kids.
of the
We have
parents,
problems with
apparently.
survival, with works
Okay.
and everything. AI is taking
Apparently.
more and more jobs, and suddenly it will take
Yeah.
like a flow of jobs.
Yeah.
Uh, we have political problems. We have wars, and
Yeah.
yeah, there also shit happens around the world, and we don't have the time to worry about it. I mean, we don't have the time.
It's not the
And look,
time.
I am a very optimistic guy in general,
Mhm.
and there is a guy here in Greece. He's a very popular artist. He was making like fun sketches, like comics and everything.
Yeah.
And now he's much older, and I think I don't know, his sons or so took over. And there was one meme, okay, that it was saying something like that our grandfather was had fear about the TV when it came.
Yeah.
Our parents had fear with the computer when it came, and now
Right.
the guys are fear of the AI
Right.
that it came. And I wrote to him that if you compare television and the computer with the AI, you're very naive. You don't understand
Mhm.
what AI can do. I
Right.
mean, I mean,
Right.
I'm working with computers for a long time. I'm a computer guy,
Right.
but to build my works and my art, I had to work a lot. I mean, I had to first of all to learn how to
All
use it,
right.
and every year new things come, and learn new stuff and learn new stuff, and still sit on the computer and do for hours, all this shit. And the AI is not like that. They don't understand it. You
Mhm.
see, and
Right.
they
Right.
have like power because there are like million followers in Greece. We are 10 million people, and 1/10 of the population, the whole population, is following this site, and they're
Yeah.
seeing this meme from guys who don't really understand what AI is, and they're
Right.
saying, "Don't be afraid of AI." Well, hell no! I understand the benefits of the AI, but
Mhm.
if I can understand what the hell it can also cause from the other side, we are going to extremes,
Mhm.
and the
Well, we do
extremes
that.
are never ending well, never ending
Right.
well.
No, but that's just
Mhm.
society in general, though. And the thing with AI is, I understand the analogy that they're making, right? This is the technology, blah, 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 blah. But with AI, until you learn how to speak to it, it doesn't really work for you. Like when we first used ChatGPT to write stuff for the show and use it for business, if you don't ask it and tell it, don't make up things, don't do this, don't do that, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
some of the
Yeah.
stuff, some of the stuff we would get, I'd be like, where did you get this from? And it goes, oh, I just pulled it out of my Tookus, if it has one. And now when we tell it to do stuff and it writes something, I'll be like, this is really great. But this paragraph, you made this up? And it'll be like, yes, blah, blah. I'm like, great. Why don't you just tell me everything that's factual? So now when you talk to your AI, you have to say, I only want true facts, this and that from this document, blah, blah, blah. Gemini is great because it can give me a 1,500-page report where ChatGPT can't do that yet. So like you have to use more than one AI to do different things. So it's fascinating to me what you can
Yeah,
do
but
with
you're
it.
still dependent on the companies that want to make money. Let's start from this. That
You're always
means that
dependent on companies that want to make
that
money.
means for me that
Mhm.
the version of because we're talking about models versions,
Right.
the version that we have uh, uh, is trained and given to us to make also mistakes. It's trained. If you want a better one to not have mistakes or less mistakes, you have to pay. If you want
No,
even better with
even
no
the one you
mistakes at
pay
all,
makes
you have
even
to
the one you
pay.
pay. No, they still make mistakes even when you pay. Now I know
Well,
that
I
there's
haven't
AI
tried the
coming.
$200
I
ChatGPT, but
have,
I'm guessing it's better
and it
because there are
no, it's
people
just
who are using it.
it's great, but it still makes mistakes. There's AI that's coming out that we're aware of that won't make mistakes because it fact checks itself. So that I find very interesting. But see, that gets to then Vicky's benevolent dictator scenario, because once AI can make sure that everything is factual and fact check itself, then what's the next step of AI? Like where does it start going? But that's what I'm saying. There'll be AI probably, I would say by 2027, maybe sooner, depending, that you'll be able to just like, I remember IBM had this commercial in the 80s where you'd wake up and say to your computer, hello, whatever you call Echo, and Echo would go, hi, and you could talk to it. That's coming, but it won't be a AI. It'll be AI, but it'll be AI with actual thought, for lack of a better term. So when you ask it what's going on, blah blah blah, it'll tell you everything, like you see in all these futuristic movies. Like, hey, how's the weather? The weather is great, and blah blah blah, and you should do this,
Yeah,
and your heart is that. And so
yeah,
we're getting to that
but
point
the problem is different. The problem is different. It's how time do we have? I mean, before something really, really bad happens.
next week. Until next week, Thursday.
So you're not going to see because next week you're not going to have in your car AI to talking with you like the
No, I will.
idealistic. Uh,
I will. I'm fine. I'm not worried about me. It's the rest of the planet you
I
have to
wish
worry
you
about.
have. I wish that you have
Meanwhile,
really.
Trump still doesn't know how a
But
laptop
we are
works.
going to wishes now and believes like
Listen, at the end of the day, every generation thought everything was going to kill them. When planes started to fly, they thought the plane would kill you when you would fly. When the cars came, they thought the cars were going to go, well, they're going to kill you because of pollution. But everything was going to kill you. AI, most likely, 90% chance, it probably won't kill you, not for a while. Will it be the Terminator? I'm sure there's some little 14-year-old kid sitting in his basement that got picked on in school that is figuring out how to make a Terminator, and in 20 years it'll magically appear. And yes, so it's going to be what society does with it all. But if society doesn't start making society better, it won't matter, because all AI is going to do is mimic the world. And if it mimics
yeah,
the world we're in today, we're screwed.
yeah. That's why I'm not talking about any independent AI because we're not going to get into there. We don't have the time.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
next Thursday.
After
Be
all,
fine.
you know something. If there was, I would prefer actually a
Yeah.
really independent and just and an AI that rules the world.
Okay.
But we don't have any Putins,
Through phone
Trumps,
call,
and everything.
through phone calls, I can have it happen. Just let me know. So, through phone calls, it can take over. So I'm just saying. And Adam, you will have AI that will rule the world. There's AI being used in I forget what country in Eastern Europe, where it actually is part of the finance Ministry of Finance, and it actually reads things, makes up laws, and does things. So AI is getting
Yeah,
to that
but
point where it
look,
will.
There was the robot. Go ahead. Sorry.
nobody's going to from the power guys. Nobody's going to leave for people to have this kind of ruling AI. They're not going to lose the power and their status and their money and their everything for all the people to have a just world and everything like that that we imagine. It's not going to happen.
Um, if AI becomes more powerful than the people that created it, which it will be, and more powerful than the people that are in power and can control everything, you would have no choice. Think through that. Like if I'm
So
AI and
you're
I can
saying
say,
that the AI will win all the bad guys there who have the power, who
sure,
created the
because you,
AI.
if I could take away your power, if you have a drone, you want to go attack Russia, and I don't like you or Russia, and I'm like, no, I think we're not going to do that. And I take over your drone, you don't attack anything. If I say to you, you're the president of the United States, and I'm
That's a
AI, and
very
I'm
big
like, you know,
if. That's a
I know.
very big
No,
if.
well, it's kind of coming. But if I'm AI and I decide that, you're the president of the United States and I don't like what you're doing, I'm just going to turn off all the power in America and give it to myself until I get what I need you to do, acquiesce power. So yes, AI is going to get to a point where AI will be more powerful than the people in power. It'll be more powerful than the oligarchs who created it. And that's what everybody, when they all talk about we need to have guardrails and we need to
But
have that,
but
guardrails are too late.
you think that those
Mhm.
guys don't know it and they're going to allow it. That's what you think.
No, I think that they know it. I think that their hubris is going to prevent them from doing it because they want to say, look at me, look how great I am, look what I did. And by the time they figure out that Mrs. O'Malley's cow has lit the barn on fire, it's too late. And it's already too late. I see what's coming down the pike. Their hubris is going to, like the seven deadly sins, that all that
Mhm.
pride and all that look at me crap and look how rich I am. They kept their eye on what they really needed to forget or what they need to keep their eye on. And because of that, it's going to put us into the position where AI will be more powerful, probably if not in the next, say, by Thursday, probably by 2040. AI will be like, I'm more powerful
Mhm.
than you. Just saying.
That for me looks like a fantasy, like it's like
Okay.
a book or a
Okay.
film.
Okay. Good. All right. And 10 years ago and 20 years ago, if I
I
told you
don't
they
think
had
that the
robot
guys
dogs that can do
they
all this
know
stuff, you
those
would think
stuff.
the
They
same
know
thing.
that the dangers, like they can lose the power from the AIs, and
Mhm.
or rather they're thinking from a guy who has a better AI, a stronger AI. So
Right.
they're protecting themselves. It's a race of better AI now, more
We'll
powerful
see.
AI who will control all the other AIs and stuff like
Okay.
that. And they're
We'll
keeping
see.
it for themselves.
Okay.
And this is a
We'll see.
problem. And we're going to see like AI wars, one trying to take down the other and stuff like that.
I love a good AI war.
But
Listen.
I don't want us to finish in a bad way because I'm optimistic. So what we
Okay.
can do, there's only one thing that we can do, and it's
Die.
always the answer. Enjoy
Well, then just
the
die.
moment that we still have. That's
Right,
all that we can
exactly.
do. So I enjoyed talking to you guys. I
Live
always do.
now.
I hope that people that
Right.
listen also enjoy our
Well,
all those
here's the best part.
dangerous stuff and black stuff that we are
That's right.
talking about.
Here's the best part. Next
But
week,
they have to
because
know. They have to know.
yeah,
We
all
have
the
to know.
our AI models that we have are just going to take our images and our voices, and next week we're not even going to be. It'll just be AI doing the
Sweet.
show. Just give it a
I don't have to
topic.
wake up.
There you go.
Perfect.
You give it a topic and you're off to the races. So listen, I think it's fascinating what's coming down the pike with AI. I think it's fascinating what's coming down with quantum computing. I think when you tie those two together, mankind is in more trouble than it actually thinks because of the trajectory we're on. If we change our trajectory, then it's going to help mankind. And if we don't, you're SOL, a week from Thursday.
I
However, we'll see.
I'm also optimistic that
Yeah.
the best models that they have is going
Yeah.
to warn them. Look, if you start doing this,
yeah.
they might have another that they are going to do this to you. So either you are going to, I don't know, come to agreement somehow
Right.
also with people, but because after all, people can say, let's fuck AIs and technology and everything. Let's go out in the streets. Let's
Right.
take down all the people in power and let's put a new government. Because after all, yeah, that's the reaction. It's going to be a chaos. There are going to be people dead around. Like there was the final in football in Europe, the final
Mhm.
in the Champions League. They won
Yeah.
5-0, and they were like in Paris. They were like people going out the streets, two deads,
Hmm.
everything taken down in fire and everything. What the hell is going on with this society? What the hell?
I think we should let Vicky just run the
So
planet. It'd be
stupid.
like just very cool because she doesn't want to get up before like 8 o'clock. And
Exactly. Everyone
so,
sleeps in. We listen to K-pop. It's chill. I got some Cheetos. It's gonna
yeah,
Yeah,
be
enjoy the
really
moment.
like
That's the only thing we
relaxed.
can do. Enjoy the moment. We don't know
there
how
you go.
long it's going to last. It was always like this. But since the things are more dangerous, enjoy what we have the now, not tomorrow
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Now, the now
Pet
moment.
your
We have
dog.
to learn how to enjoy the moment, be kind to people, be kind to ourselves also. Because if you're hurting others, you're hurting yourself. It's what I'm saying about philosophy. We are one thing. If we do bad to other things or to animals or stuff, we're doing bad things to ourselves.
What about
We
the people in New
gonna
Zealand? The sheep. Never mind. Anyway,
Oh.
so don't leave them behind. That's why I take them to the edge of a cliff and those high water boots. Anyway, just kidding. Guys, this has been fun. Thank you for everybody that's watching. And if you notice, there's comments on the bottom of the page from our fans. We have a new thing that we can do that. So we're going to start doing that so people can see the fans, what they're saying as we're speaking, just because I think it'll be interesting. We'll be back next month. I know that's crazy. We'll be back next Monday. Yes, cheers, Dawn. Thank you. We'll be back next Monday live with Adam. And then on Tuesday of next week, which will remind everybody, we have Brown Car Guy, Greg Shapiro. We have a whole bunch of shows next week, the once a month shows that are coming out. And at the end of the month on Lost Dollar Business Club, we will have a guy standing back to talk about basic income with a gentleman who says basic income is bad. So it'll be there's a fun month in June of programming that we have.
that's that's it's not fun.
It's fun.
That's
It's
the
just
only
fun.
way we can survive somehow.
Everything is fun. It's just it's every perception. Listen, it's fun because
Not
it's
everything,
educational. I like to
there are
learn.
bad
Everything is, name
stuff
one thing that's
happening.
not
There are
fun.
not tragedies are not fun.
Read,
It's part
watching the
of life.
Netflix
It's part
adolescent
of
thing is
life.
going to not be fun.
That's life.
That's not gonna be a good time though.
That's like, yeah, I'm going to watch it just so we can talk about it. I'm going to probably get
Enjoy the
halfway through and
moment.
go,
We hope to
some
see you
stupid movie.
next week.
And listen to the Polish president that can't spell
Yeah,
toboggan.
hell.
You feel
Oh,
free to come on our show and you can tell us why you're good for Poland. Adam's Polish. He would love to have you, or any of the opposition that would like
Yeah,
to
I
come
came back
on.
with a
You're
Polish
welcome.
passport. Also,
You have a Polish
that's
passport? Congratulations.
yeah. I have a
Vicky,
Polish
anything
passport.
exciting on Vicky IRL coming up, or just doing your thing for South Korea and North Korea, trying to unify them?
yes, that's exactly what's happening. It's
I
yeah,
knew.
yeah.
Okay. Give me
No,
catch
my
up
next
guard.
assignment, whenever that is, don't have it yet, but well,
Okay.
go watch my old one, my last one.
Yeah.
How I fell in love with Korea. Fascinating.
We know it, and we start to
I
love
know we
Korea as
saw it.
well because of you.
Yeah.
Because we didn't
It's
know
not.
you give us a taste of of South Korea, North Korea, in general,
Oh,
the
I eat
Korea
kimchi every
Peninsula.
day now because of you. Yeah. I eat more kimchi now than I've ever eaten in my entire life because of you. So
good.
yeah, go to H Mart and I buy like the big jumbo thing of
Woohoo.
whatchamacallit. So I can eat kimchi and rice every day. So that's why I look so young at 17 million years old.
Exactly.
So there you
Probiotics.
go. There you go. Guys, it's always a pleasure. Fans, thank you very much. If you watched it
Yes.
live, thank you. If you're watching the rebroadcast, cool. To Adam's fans that always join the show, thank you very much. Adam will be back, of course, next week, and we'll discuss whatever's on Adam's mind with our lovely Vicky from IRL. And I just sit here and look pretty and do my job, which is push buttons. And that's it, kids. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you all next week. Have a good week if you make it till Thursday. No, just kidding.